Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back. I'm Jeannie and today I'm so excited to share an easy fall nail look with you that I'm calling Fall Glass Cat Eye Nails. I'll be using the Bandi Pale Season Trend Set from Sweetie Nail Supply. Bandi is a brand new to me company that just recently became available in the US, so I couldn't wait to try it out. For full transparency, this was sent to me as PR from Sweetie Nail Supply, but as always, you'll get my honest opinions. So let's go ahead and dive in and see how these shades transform into the perfect autumn cat eye mani. We're going to take a closer look at this set and do some swatching before we jump into the nail set. So I'm going to go ahead and leave timestamps in case you want to jump ahead. But taking a look at these absolutely gorgeous bottles, they are so beautiful and I'm so excited I finally get to try Bandi because I've been seeing them for a while now, wishing I could try them out. So I'm super excited that the time is finally here. So the set, it comes with 4 solid syrup gels, which you see here, and there's also 3 cat eye gels. Here's your really beautiful swatch card. It's a little bit different because it doesn't have like names or numbers. You just kind of have to figure out where to place it. So I'll deal with that later. The other thing that comes in this set is this Obgel Clear. I'm not sure if that's how you even pronounce it. It didn't really have a description on the website, but taking a look at it, it's just like a really small jar of like some thicker gel. And looking at the consistency of it, it's kind of like the consistency of like Vaseline. So I'm not sure if it's for like just some textured nail art, if it's for like textured chrome, but you can see here just how thick it is. So we'll play with that a little bit, do some swatching of that as well. So if you know actually what it's used for, let me know. So let's get into the swatching, starting with the first color. This is Fall Navy, and this is the color that actually drew me to the collection because I love a good navy for the fall and winter time. I just think it's the perfect color, and the fact that this was a syrup navy, which I feel like you don't see very often, got me really excited. So I'm just going to be doing it on swatch sticks for today's video. And these stiletto swatch sticks, they're so curved at the top. It's so hard to get the polish looking even in that area. So I'm trying to get it a little bit even, but it's just difficult because it's so curved. But you kind of get the picture of what it looks like. So in the first layer, it is really sheer, but you can still tell it's that navy color. I'm just showing you against the white so you can see it better. And to save a little time, because I always like to swatch in 2 layers instead of curing and then doing a second layer, I'm just going to swatch the underside of the swatch stick. So that's a little hack to get your 2 layers without having to cure in between. So once I finish polishing the underside of it, that'll show me what it looks like in 2 layers, and then I can cure it and then move on to my next swatch. So you can see here that second layer really deepens it up, but it still has that really great syrup quality to it. But it is such a beautiful color and I'm super excited about it. The next color is Fall Brown, which is a syrup brown. I've been really enjoying working with browns lately, and I think this one is a beautiful color. I love the richer type browns. So you can see in the first layer, this is a sheerer color, but that's what I really enjoy about working with syrup colors is I can control the opacity of it depending on how many layers I do. So if I want it to look more jelly see-through, I can only, I can do 1 layer and be good with that. But if I want to build it up a little bit more to be like a deeper, richer color, I can do a second layer, which is what I do with my swatches. And specifically with these jellies, I feel like because I get such deepness and richness with my second layer, I feel like you could probably get full opacity in like 3 to 4 layers, depending on like your nail length and things like that. But you could probably reach full opacity. The other thing I'll mention about these gels is they are a bit thinner. They're not like runny thin, but they're not thick at all. So you just have to be careful. You don't want to overwork it because I think you could get a lot of streakiness if you do overwork it. But overall, I think they're beautiful colors and they're easier to use. But you can see here, I'm just being a little bit picky because of the curve of the nail, especially on the underside. I want to make it as even as possible. So I'm trying to just even it out. So the next color here, this is maybe my favorite. This is Fall Cherry. So this is a jelly, not jelly, syrup, same thing really. But this is like a deep like purple red burgundy type. It's just so beautiful, and I couldn't help myself and I had to use this color in the set. I think even in one layer it's just really beautiful, so you can see like that deep like burgundy purplish color. Like I kind of consider this like a wine red type color. So here's how it looks in the first layer. I'm going to turn my swatch stick on the other side and then do a second layer on the underside of it. But honestly, I think in one layer it's just as beautiful. But I really like the deep color of it for two layers because it's a little bit more vampy. And I love that these colors are called like fall something because they are really great fall colors, but honestly, I think they're really good for winter as well. I don't think they're just fall colors. They are really great for fall, but I think these will be really good for the winter time as well. The last solid in this set is Fall Olive, which is a syrup olive green color. I feel like it's really hard to find a good olive green. Sometimes what I buy, what I think is olive green, doesn't end up being olive green, but this one I think is a really great one. So you can see here in the first layer, it's got that sheerness to it. So it is a lighter olive green color. And I know this is probably like a controversial color because green's really more of like a love it or hate it. A lot of people really don't like greens or don't think greens look good on them depending on their skin tones. But personally, I really love greens. I don't wear them a whole lot, but I actually do really love them. I think they go well with like so many different colors, but this one, if you do like green, I think this is absolutely beautiful, and I love how deep it is in that second layer. Moving on to the cat eyes, they're all named fall as well. So this first one is fall yellow. But honestly, I don't know if I would call this yellow. It's more like a super light champagne type gold. It's not a yellow gold. It's not a silver. So that's why I'm kind of saying like a champagne type gold, which I guess is yellow. Maybe they were just trying to keep with like the fall color theme, and yellow was the closest they could come up with, but I thought it'd be more yellow based on the name. But regardless, I think it is absolutely beautiful. It is sheerer in the first layer, but this is also very buildable. So once I apply my first layer, I'm going to go ahead and magnetize it, and just look at how beautiful these magnetic particles are. They're very strong. They're very easy to move with the magnet. And it was just kind of mesmerizing to watch it kind of like bend and curve and shape. I end up like velvetizing it, but it was just really fascinating to watch and so beautiful. So once I have it the way I want it, I'm going to flash cure it about 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm not going to do the underside until I flash cure the top side, because magnetic particles, the longer they sit, they're going to start dissipating. So I wanted to freeze that design in place before I went in with my second layer. But because I usually look at a swatch stick from the top side, after I did the underside, I'm going to flip it over and then I'm going to magnetize it so I could see what it looks like from the top side, how I want it to look. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to cure it. Next, we have Fall Pink, which is a pink based cat eye. And this is kind of like a light pinky. I feel like there's some purple undertones in there as well. I definitely call it a pink, but I do feel like there are slight purple undertones to it. So I absolutely love it. So in the first layer, it is sheer. But with all of these colors, I'm really amazed at, because it's so sheer in the first layer, I'm really amazed at like how much it builds up in that second layer. So you can see a slight pinkiness to it in the first layer, but it really does look pink in the second layer. So I'm not sure what it is about the formula, but I absolutely love that about it. This also does have like that really strong magnetic particle. So it's just really beautiful to like move it around to kind of get those different types of effects. Usually when I do cat eye gels, I usually just like velvetize them. I don't usually do like the typical cat eye line or like any fun designs like that, but I should start playing around with different cat eye designs. I think once I did try like the French tip design, that was really cool to do, but typically I just velvetize all my cat eyes because I love the way it looks. So I flash cured the first side. I'm going in on the underside for my second layer. So I feel like here, see, you can see how pink it is. Like you can definitely see more of that pinkiness to it once you get to that second layer. So first layer, super sheer. Second layer, you get that really strong color, which is really cool. So once I have that design in place, I'm going to go ahead and cure it. The last of the colored gels is Fall Blue, which is a light blue base cat eye. And compared to the other two cat eye gels, I feel like this one has a little bit more coloring to it, even in the first layers, because with the fall yellow and the fall pink, I feel like they were barely that base color. Like you could tell they were like yellow or pink, but not a lot. But I feel like with this blue one, you can definitely tell it's blue in the first layer, even though it is a bit sheer, and it maybe has blue magnetic particles in it, because I feel like once I magnetize it, you can see like that blue moving around, or maybe it just seems blue because of the silver magnetic particles. I'm not really sure, but I feel like it gets even bluer once it's magnetized. So I'm going ahead, moving that around to kind of velvetize it. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to flash cure it for 10 to 15 seconds. I flipped the underside of the swatch stick. So now I'm going to swatch my second layer on the underside. So you can see that blue really start to build up. And this is really beautiful because it's a really icy blue. So this one especially, I think, would be perfect for the winter time. Think about like snow and icy type like nail themes. It would be absolutely perfect for. So I'm just taking a look at it, just admiring the color. So I'm going to go ahead and magnetize it, velvetize it, and then go ahead and fully cure it once I'm done. So here are all the colors all swatched out, and I absolutely love that this set is a mixture of syrup solid colors as well as cat eyes. And now that I'm looking back at this doing the voiceover, I can definitely see the yellow in the fall yellow cat eye. So maybe I was just delirious at the time I was swatching, but I definitely see the yellow now. So let me know down below in the comments, which color is your favorite? I also want to quickly test this ob gel because I was really curious on if it would chrome. I definitely think it is a texture gel, but I wanted to see if it was chromable as well, like a no wipe. So I'm just applying a little bit of this to my palette. I flash cured it for about 20 seconds. So I'm just taking a little bit of gold chrome and I'm going to rub that in to see if it sticks, which it does stick really well. It chromes beautifully. So now that I know that, I will do a little bit of chroming with this in my set because it's beautiful. Okay, now that we're done with swatching, we're going to go ahead and jump into the nail set. So I went ahead and sized and prepped my nail tips ahead of time. So these are the soft gel medium almond tips. These were sent to me as previous PR from Sweetie Nail Supply. But as soon as I tried them, they quickly became my favorite nail tips. I wore these tips to Korea. They stayed on for 4 weeks. At about week 3.5, my pinky nail popped off, but I just got some nail glue and glued it back on, but the rest of the tips, they stayed on strong. I absolutely love these tips, so highly recommend them. Since Sweetie Nail Supply is having their Black Friday sale, I picked up another pack of the soft gel tips. I think I either got short almond or short stiletto because I wanted to try out a different length, so I'll let you know how that goes once I get them. But I'm going to do my first layer of base color on all the nails first, fully cure them all together, and then I'll do the second layer. So for my index finger, that's going to be a French tip, so I need a base color. So I used the Doi Nudie Pink. You know that the Doi Nudie colors are my absolute favorite. Usually it's the Doi Nudie Pink or the Doi Nudie Blush Pink that I love as my base colors because they're the just sheer wash of color. So I did one layer of that on my index finger, put it back on the stand. Now for my thumb, middle finger, and pinky, they're going to get, this is Fall Cherry. You knew I had to use this color because it's just absolutely beautiful. So these three nails are actually going to be my glass cat eye nails. I previously did glass cat eye nails. I absolutely loved the look. So I wanted to see if it would work with this Fall Cherry just because it's a darker color. And so that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to do 2 layers of the Fall Cherry first before I do the cat eye on top. So I'll kind of walk you through what that process looks like. But lastly, the the ring finger, this is going to be fall yellow. Because I'm going to use the fall yellow for the glass cat eye nails, I wanted to use it as like an accent nail. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do the one layer on the ring finger, magnetize it, and then that's like all my first layers on all the tips. So then I'll fully cure the stand for a full 60 seconds. Now that I finished with my second layer and it's fully cured, I'm going to show you how to do the glass cat eye nail look. Essentially, it's a cat eye polish sandwiched in between a jelly polish. So I have the two layers of the fall cherry. So those are my jelly polishes. And now I'm going in with fall yellow. I'm doing a layer on top of that. Typically for the glass cat eye nail look, it looks best with the silver gel. That's usually what I see, but I figured the fall yellow was close enough because it's like that champagne gold, silvery type gold color. So I thought it would work really well. So I'm going in with a layer on top of my fall cherry. Once I'm happy with that, you want to velvetize it. So I'm going to take my magnet. Once again, this is just a cylindrical magnet. And look at how cool it looks on top of the fall cherry. Like, I think it's a beautiful cat eye on its own, but when you put it on like a darker base color, those magnetic particles just really pop. And I was just like blown away by it. And I almost wanted to leave it as is and not sandwich it with that fall cherry just because I thought it just looked so strong and so beautiful. So I'm couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted it to look, so I'm just kind of moving it around. And I think that's a great thing about working with gels is it's not going to set until you cure it, so you can keep playing around with it till you're happy with the look. I was happy with that, so I went ahead and flash cured it. And so I'm going to work on the other two nails as well. And then flash cure my middle finger. And then once I'm done with my pinky, then I'll fully cure them for 60 seconds because I want to make sure that those magnetic particles are going to stay in place, that I'm freezing that design. For my index finger, I'm going to do a French tip using the same fall yellow cat eye gel, but I want to start by drawing an outline first. So I'm placing some of that gel on a palette, and I'm going to be using my Sweetie Nail Supply liner brush number 2 to draw that outline. This is my absolute favorite liner brush. These brushes are actually in their outlet sale, which makes me think they're probably being discontinued, which makes me super sad. So if I'm being completely honest, I actually did buy 2 sets of these gel brushes because I absolutely love them and I never want to run out. So I'm starting with drawing a horizontal line across my nail where I want my French tip to stop. It was a little bit crooked. I messed up, so I'm just going to wipe it off using a dry lint-free wipe, and I'm going to start over. That's the other great thing about using gels is as long as you don't cure it, you can just wipe off and start over again. So once again, I'm going in with a cleaner line, horizontal line around where I want my French tip to stop. And then I'm drawing a perpendicular line down towards the free edge at the center of that to help me center where I want the half of the French tip to be. And then from that center, that's when I start drawing up towards the right side, towards that sidewall. So it's kind of a curved line up. I want it a little bit curved. I don't want it too deep. And then I'm going to do the same for the left side. I'm going to try to make it as even as possible. So I'm kind of eyeballing where I stopped on the right side, and I want to draw that line up to around the same area on the left side. And then once I have that outline down, I'm going to take the brush that's in the bottle and I'm going to fill that in just to make it a little bit quicker. I know it's a little bit harder to see in the first layer just because of the sheerness of the pink and the sheerness of the cat eye gel, but you'll be able to see it a little bit better once I get to the second layer because I did want to build up that opacity a little bit more. So once I've got that filled in, I'm just going to take my liner brush just to make sure everything is even and that I don't have any areas that are missing some gel and that, there's not any streakiness, anything like that. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take my magnet and I'm going to go ahead and magnetize that cat eye portion before I freeze it in place by curing it for about 15 seconds. This probably wasn't totally necessary, but because my other nails had like 3 to 4 layers of gels depending on the design I was doing with them, I didn't want to just leave my ring finger at 2 layers of the yellow fall because I wanted them to be about even thickness. So I decided to go in with a 3rd layer of fall yellow just to make them a little more even. And I was honestly surprised at the opacity I got in that 3rd layer. So even though it was really sheer in the first layer, it was fully opaque in 3 layers. So I don't really regret doing the 3 layers. And it didn't make my nails bulky at all. That's the one thing I didn't mention is for the syrup gels, I talked about how they are a thinner consistency, where these cat eye gels, they're actually a bit of a thicker consistency. They're not so thick, they're like gloopy, but they are definitely thicker than the syrup gels. And just to make sure my French tip is a little more defined and pops more, after I fully cured my first layer, I'm going in with the second layer, which the second layer is easier because I don't have to do like all those different lines. I'm just really tracing the area where I did my first layer. So I'm starting with my liner brush first and I'm drawing that curved line, and that's the line where I want to stay inside of, but I want to make sure that's clearly defined there. And then once I've got that outline, I'll go in with the brush that's in the bottle, remove most of the gel because I don't want my gel to be too thick, and I'm going to fill in that area. I don't want it too thick because 1, it may not cure all the way through if it's too thick, and 2, it may wrinkle if it's too thick. So you want to be really careful. And if you want more opacity, do thinner layers rather than thicker layers. So I'm just going in, making sure everything stays fully defined with that liner brush. You probably don't have to do as much as I do, but I just wanted to make sure that it was looking as full and defined as possible. And it's still harder to see, but I feel like it really pops once it's magnetized because you can really see like those magnetic particles make a difference between like the color and then the base color pink. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go ahead and fully cure that. And then the last thing I'm going to do to finish off the glass cat eye nail look is when I talked about a sandwich. So I've got the cat eye fully cured. Now I'm going to go in with a thin layer of the syrup gel, the jelly gel on top. And so what I really love about this look, and it works I think best with like darker colors, is depending on the angle and the lighting of your hand and your fingers. Like sometimes it just looks like a solid color, but then you move it around and then you can kind of see that cat eye pop through, that cat eye design. And I just think it's so cool. It's really hard to photograph, but in like person, it's just so fun to look at. I wanted some accent nails to my glass cat eye nails. So for the nails that have my fall yellow cat eye polish, so the ring finger and the French tip of the index finger, I'm going to do like a leopard print type design. So I decided to use the fall brown and I'm going to draw like splotches around that cat eye nail. This is the ring finger. This is the full nail. I don't want them to be like perfect circles because no leopard spots are like perfect circles. So I want to make them like a little irregular. I want to make sure that I don't make the nail too busy. So I don't want like bare areas, but I also don't want like the full nail to be completely covered to where it looks too busy. So I'm just trying to find that balance of like drawing those splotches. So once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to let them sit. I'm going to do the same thing for the French tip on my index finger. This is only going to be on the cat eye area, so that little French tip area. So I only need like a couple of those smaller splotches, and that's plenty to fill in that space. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to flash cure them both for about 15 seconds just to flash cure that gel in place. And then I'm going to use some black gel to outline it. So this is Yogurt Nail. This is Grocery Black. I'm not sure the number of it, but I'll leave it linked down below in the description. This is a really great opaque black polish. So I'm just using some of that in my liner brush number 2 again. And I'm just drawing like little broken lines around those brown splotches. So I don't want to completely outline the whole splotch. I'm going to do like 2 to 3 like dashed lines around the perimeter of it and that they're not connecting. And the black really helps define those spots and kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. But I don't want to do too much, just like depending on how large it is. Sometimes it's 2 little outlines, maybe on like either side of it. And it doesn't have to be like top and bottom, it can be like top and middle and like the side. Like you can do like around the splotch, however you want it to look. And also drawing like little black dots around as well to fill in some of that extra space as well. And for the French tip, I am going to use the clear gel that came in the set as well because I'm going to define it with like a little bit of chrome. But for now, I'm going to finish out these leopard print. So the same thing for my ring finger is I'm drawing those little dotted line outlines around the splotches. So you can see for that one, I did around like the left top. I'm doing around like the bottom of that and then a little bit on like the top right side. They're not connecting. It's just like little lines around that it's 2 or 3 depending on how you want it to look. And just as a little bit of filler in some of that blank space, I'm taking that black gel and I'm drawing like little open parentheses just to fill in some of that space. So it's just like the right and the left bracket. There's nothing in between. It's not around any of that brown gel. It's just to fill in that space. If you don't want to do the parentheses, you could also do like just small, like little black splotches as well. You don't want perfect circles, like you don't want to make polka dots, but you can just make them like irregular shaped dots to fill in some of that black space. But I feel like it helps it make a little bit more realistic to have like those little bit of black accents. So I fully cured that for 60 seconds. And like I mentioned before, I do want a gold accent around the French tip on the index finger. So in order to do isolated chrome, you do need a matte top coat. So I'm going in with my Divox Zero matte top coat. This matte top coat never fails me. It is so good for isolated chrome or just a matte top coat, even if you're not isolating chrome. So I applied that to the whole nail. I cured it for a full 60 seconds. And now I'm taking this ob gel and my liner brush number 2. I'm going to pick up some of it. So this is going to be really quick and easy. After I tested it and saw how well it chromed, I knew I wanted to do some kind of chrome in this set. So I decided, because I wanted to define that French tip a little bit more, that I would outline the French tip with some gold chrome. So I'm just taking that oblong, no, I'm not oblong, that ob gel and my liner brush number 2, and I'm just outlining the curve of that French tip. I want to make sure that it's as even as possible. So I'm just kind of smoothing it out a little bit, making sure I'm not missing any spots because I want all of that to be chromed. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to flash cure for 20 seconds. Once I've got that flash cured, I'm going to take my gold chrome. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. I just recently got it from Sweetie Nail Supply, so I'll leave it linked down below in the description. A little bit goes a long way. So I'm just going to pick up just a tiny bit of that chrome on the eyeshadow brush, and then I'm going to rub in that chrome where I have that ob gel. So I don't have to do the whole nail. I only want it to stick where the ob gel is, where anywhere there's a matte gel top coat, it's not going to stick to. So I'm just going to go ahead, close up my chrome so I don't make a huge mess. And then what I like to do is I like to take a blender sponge, like a makeup sponge, and I'm going to rub that in, make sure it's going to remove the chrome from my matte top coat, and then rub in the chrome a little bit more to my ob gel. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to fully cure it the rest of the way. I need to protect my chrome with the top coat or else it'll rub right off. So I do have this bottle of the Doi Basics Gel Top Coat. This bottle is almost out of, so I use it only for chrome because no matter how well you wipe off the chrome, you always get little particles in your top coat. So this bottle I keep specifically just for chrome. So I top coated the rest of the nails. I'm top coating this one and I'll fully cure for 60 seconds. And as always, I'm going to finish off my mani by rehydrating my cuticles. I'm using my Scales of a Mermaid Cuticle Balm in the scent I Make Poor Decisions because this fall cherry made me think of like red wine. And this I Make Poor Decisions is one of my favorite scents. Think of like a fruity and tart red sangria. So it's got that really great like red wine scent. And of course, the balms are so hydrating. So I like to lather myself in it, make sure I'm rubbing it in really well. If you do plan to do any shopping, I have an affiliate code with Scales of a Mermaid. You can use code Genie10 to save 10% off your orders at any time. So that pretty much wraps up today's video, and here's the final look. Just a really fun and easy fall look, but I promise I'll be getting into the holiday set soon. I just wanted to use this collection so badly, and I just love how you can do so many different looks with the colors that you get in this set. So if you're still here, drop me a cherry or wine emoji down below in the comments so that I know that you stuck around. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up. It lets me know to continue creating content like this, and it also helps YouTube recommend me to others, which helps grow my channel. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I upload content every Monday and Thursday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.